The heavyweight division, brother. The heavyweight division truly and honestly can flip in the blink of an eye. And I mean the outcome of a fight. Like one dude could be winning, and then the next thing you know, like after the round is over, it's like now you're losing. Why? Because you're a heavyweight, and one thing we forget is these dudes don't got gas tanks, right? What's one thing that I noted to you, AJ? I said if this fight goes the distance, like I don't know if Dana White will ever put a heavyweight fight on the main card ever again, because we get so many of these, and these are two dudes who can do it, who can go the distance. But apparently one of these dudes can go a little bit harder. Josh Parisian, man, he was all but out in the first round of this fight. And what did I say? Alan Baudot, when he fights downhill, he's a scary, scary man. However, round 2 happened, and next thing you know, Alan Baudot had no gas left in the tank, and Josh Parisian took over. And the man that we said had the grappling deficiencies, who would normally have issues when he would get out-grappled Baudot. He said, you got nothing for me in the jiu-jitsu, bro. But I have one question about this fight that I thought was interesting, AJ. What do you feel about fighters who you're ground and pounding your opponent, right? So he had Baudot basically locked up against the cage, couldn't move, and he's just throwing little pitter-patter shot, staring at the ref, looking at him like, bro, finish the fight, call it. And I'm just like, well, how about instead of you worrying about the ref, you just smash his face in so that the ref can do his job? Now, what do you feel about fighters who do that?
I mean, it's a cheeky little gamesmanship right there. You're trying to look at the ref. It's one of those ones where you're playing ball. You get fouled. You give him a look like, "Yo, man, you see this? You see what's going on here?" I don't mind it. I think it is what it is. Give the ref a little incentive, But at the same point, I agree with you more than anything. If you want the fight to be finished, don't focus on the ref. Focus on pounding this dude's face in, and then let the ref step in and do his job, because he will. And you heard the ref even saying, hey, Baudot, you got to fight back. Alan, you got to fight back. And that's when Parisian's like, oh yeah, little pop shots, okay. But nah, I think you do need, and a good job on the ref not stepping in until I think it was he said it like 4 or 5 times, different times in both rounds 1 and round 2. So good job to him, but I think you gotta hit the power on those.
Absolutely, and I think it was very self-evident that the referee was giving Baudot so many chances, not because he was like so hurting out of it, but because you could tell it was an exhaustion thing. It was just a fatigue thing. Like he just couldn't muster himself up. And this is what was surprising to me, man. Josh Parisian, if you actually look at the numbers, man, I think he weighed in like 12 pounds heavier than Baudot. So Baudot was the smaller, lighter, more athletic man, and that was actually the things that he said. That's what's going to propel me to victory. I'm more athletic. He's not going to be able to handle me. And then you got gassed out first. So it's another one where I say, Baudot, man, you lost a fight that you were in clear control of once again. And Parisian, man, one thing that I did say, right? I said he has the volume, he has the durability, but what's the big thing? He has the heart and determination that you cannot teach, and he put it on display once again. Second round TKO, they said, hey, Parisian, when Baudot hit you with that he hit him with some odd little just hammer fist to the chin, you know what I mean, standing. And he was like, when he hit you with that, how hurt with you? He was like, well, I must have been real hurt because I don't remember that. I was like, oh, shoot, heavyweights, brother. You have to love it. I don't really have much else to say regarding this fight other than it was a fight and that was a win. And, I don't really know what that's going to do for these two fighters respective because they're not in the top 15. Basically, AJ, before we conclude this wrap up right here, man, what do you think about the state of the heavyweight division in the UFC currently?
Man, this fight really shows the true statement of their levels to this game. Because as good of a fight as this was, and as entertaining and chaotic and back and forth, that you just think you send either of these dudes up to that top 10, top 15 level, like, man, you're just gonna get smashed on. So it's crazy to see how wide the gap is from the elite of the elite in the heavyweight division to the normal fighter, not normal fighters, but the fighters in the rest of the boys in the locker room. It's crazy, but in that same point, the rest of the boys in the locker room can still drop you with a pinky. Yeah. So there's nothing to be slept on ever in the heavyweight division. It's just wild to see the disparity in levels, if you will.
I absolutely agree with you because I was saying the same thing. I mean, on Twitter, they're harsh on there, bro. They say crazy things, right? They'll be like, there's really – so this is the tweet that kept coming up. They said there's only like 10 good fighters in the heavyweight division. And while that's not true, obviously, I can understand the hyperbolic nature of it, right? Just being like, you have the elite, and then you have just a bunch of dudes who can arguably go get sent out to the regional scene and might have like an okay shot there. Look for an example like Dewan Adams, man, no longer in the UFC, but now he's over there doing work. I think he's like in the PFL now or in Bellator or something like that, right? You got a lot of these like old heavyweight dudes, Jorgen De Castro and Eagle FC, just all these dudes who just kind of get thrown out there and they have like so-so outcomes in other organizations. But either way, big win by Josh Parisian. I don't know where I was going there. All right.